1, 2, 3.
It's on.
It's on.
Yep, they see you. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
You gotta come on this side of the camera so they can see your face. You ready? You ready to get your read on?
And not the green.
Come on, let's read right quick.
Mom.
Go. Yeah, I got the same clothes on from yesterday. I be trapped. What you drinking?
I got my milk.
You got your milk?
Yes.
All right. So today's book is Donald Joined the Mounties, an Adventure in Canada. So we're going to read about Donald Duck going to Canada. All right. So Donald Duck stepped off the train at Toronto's Union Station. That was the moment he had been waiting for, ever since he had read about the Royal Canadians Mounted Police. All he could think about was becoming a Mountie. Now he was in Canada at last. Donald's cousin, George LeDuc, was at the station to greet him. "Welcome," he cried. "I can't wait to show you around. Canada is a very big country. I want you to see everything." "Where can we find some Mounties?" called Donald, but George was already too far ahead of him to hear. Next page. "This is the tallest tower in the world," said George, pointing to the famous CN Tower. "Just wait until you see the view from the top." "How do we get up there?" asked Donald. "If you like, we can take an elevator," says George. "I myself prefer to walk up the stairs. It makes you realize how tall this tower really is. But if you're too tired..." "Of course I'm not too tired," interrupted Donald. "Mounties never get tired," he said to himself. When they reached the top, George led Donald to a window. "Thank you." "Look at this view," exclaimed George. "Isn't it beautiful?" Donald couldn't answer. He was out of breath. Next page, yep. So Donald and George ate lunch at the revolving restaurant. We finna find out right now. Donald and George ate lunch at the revolving restaurant at the top of the tower. Donald tried to tell George about his plans to become a Mountie, but George had other things on his mind.
What was that?
We gotta see. "Let's talk about the Mounties later, Donald," said George. "Right now we have more sightseeing to do." They headed over to Exhibition Park, where the Canadians' National Exhibition was taking place. Not yet. "There's so much to see here," said George enthusiastically. "Horseshoes, dog shows, flower shows. And look at this wonderful science fair." So this is a science fair. Donald had to jog just to keep up with George. "Are there any furniture exhibits?" he asked. "Maybe someone has a nice, comfortable bed I can try out." Next page. After Expedition Park, George and Donald went to a huge building in the middle of the city. "This is Casa Llama," said George. "It's the largest castle in North America."
That's what happened.
That's you ripping the pages trying to turn before it's time to turn. So if you leave the pages alone, that won't happen. Let's go on a tour. But please be sure to stay with the group. With 98 rooms, it's easy to get lost. "Mounties never get lost," thought Donald. "But I'm sure it would be alright if I did some exploring on my own," he said to himself, sneaking away from the tour. Soon, Donald realized he didn't know where he was. He leaned against the wall to rest. Suddenly, hey, pay attention to the book. Suddenly, the wall swung around and Donald found himself in a long tunnel. He walked to the end of it and found the fanciest stable he had ever seen. It had marble walls, and even the water troughs were made of porcelain. Just then, the guide appeared beside him. "There you are," she said, laughing. "Someone get lost on every tour, and I always know to look in the secret passage." Next page. What's these? Why you gotta make the noises rather than say what type of animal? Let's see. What type of animal? Stop. That's not how the horse sound. How do a horse sound? Alright. So, when George and Donald left the castle,
What happened?
it's a parade.
It's a rain.
Yep, they saw a parade coming down the street. Look, cried Donald. It's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Stop that. We Canadians think they are... Stop. We Canadians think they are the finest police force in the world, said George proudly. I like their uniforms too. Sit up straight. I like their uniforms too. Don't you think I will look great in one? Donald asked. Before George could answer, Donald called to the Mountie who was the closest to him. Hey, where do I sign up to be a Mountie? You have to go to Mountie headquarters over there, the Mountie replied, pointing to a nearby building. But I don't think you... Donald didn't wait to hear the rest of what the Mountie had to say. He was already on his way. Next page. Yep. So Donald burst through the door of the Mountie headquarters. Where do I apply? He asked breathlessly. The sergeant sitting behind the desk gave Donald a form. Donald quickly filled it in and handed it back. I'm sorry, the sergeant told Donald after reading the application. Hey, it's not time to sing your pay attention. In order to be a Mountie, you must be a Canadian citizen. Donald walked out of the headquarters feeling sad. He knew he would not make a great Mountie. He knew he would make a great Mountie, but he'd have to figure out a way to prove it. Suddenly, he had an idea. I've got it, he cried. I'll practice being a Mountie and doing good deeds. Once the Mounties see what a fine job I'm doing, they'll hire me right away, even though I'm not a Canadian citizen. That night, Donald asked George for his advice. You gotta read to find out. George suggested that the Algonquin Park would be the good place to practice. The very next day, Donald boarded the train for the park. George handed him a present. Luigi. Donald unwrapped the package. A history of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. He said, thanks. Donald waved goodbye to George as the train began to move. The train took him past beautiful green forests, rocky canyons, and sparkling lakes. But Donald was too busy with his book to take notice of the scenery. Donald got off of the train near the park. There he saw a group of people heading for a bus. They were going on a tour of an old mine. Here's my chance, thought Donald. Luigi, stop singing your alphabets and pay attention to the book, okay?
Okay.
You can sing your alphabets after, okay?
Okay.
Here's my chance, thought Donald. Abandoned mines can be very dangerous. These people may need my help. Donald hopped on the bus and followed the group to the mine. Good job. Inside the mine, Donald heard a woman call to her husband. Oh, Harold, the woman said. We on this page. We're gonna find out about that page next.
Okay.
Look at this beautiful stone I found on the ground. What color is that stone?
Done.
What color?
Red.
Good job. Donald watched as the woman put the sparkling gem in her pocket. Donald raced out of the mine and ran to the nearest Mountie post to report the crime. Thanks for trying to help, said one of the Mounties. But this is a special event called the Jamboree. Luigi, pay attention.
Okay.
He explained. During this time, tourists are allowed to keep any stones and minerals they find. Donald sheepishly left the Mountie post and returned to the park. I have to be more careful about what I report, he thought with determination. Soon Donald came upon a clearing where all of the trees had been chopped down. He raced off to find a Mountie. Those trees were cut down by beavers, explained the Mountie. They used the tree to build dams and make their homes. I made another big mistake, thought Donald. He continued on his way. But it wasn't long before he heard a disturbing sound. Donald peeked through the trees. They aren't beavers, cried Donald. Those are people using a chainsaw to cut down the trees. Donald ran back to find the Mountie. I saw people cutting down trees this time, cried Donald. And I don't think they need them to build dams. Of course not, said the Mountie, laughing. Those people are loggers. Logging is allowed in the park during the summer months. I guess I'm not familiar with all the rules around here, muttered Donald. Donald was very tired from all his hiking, so he decided to set up camp for the night. He tried to go to sleep, but the forest noises kept him awake. Whoa, whoa, called an animal. That's only an owl, Donald said, confronting himself. Then Donald heard a sound he couldn't ignore. Wolves, he cried, as the howls grew louder and louder. Next page. Donald ran to get help. Wolves, he shouted when he found the Mountie. I've never heard such howling. Something terrible must be happening. Hey, take it easy. Take it easy, said the Mountie, chuckling. Nothing terrible is going on. This park happens to have the only packs of timber wolves in the world. Timber wolves like to howl together, the Mountie continued. Every year at this time, people come to the park to sing along with the wolves. That's why the howling is so loud tonight. Oh, said Donald, feeling silly. I didn't know. He returned to his sleeping bag, but he refused to be discouraged. All I need is a good night's rest, he said to himself. Tomorrow is another day. The next day, Donald explored a different part of the park. Sooner or later, I'll do something really helpful, he thought. Then the Mounties will hire me. Just then, Donald saw some interesting looking rocks. When he got closer, however, he saw that they were covered with drawings. Hey, graffiti, he cried. I better report this right away, Donald told the Mountie and led him to the site. Isn't this terrible, Donald said, pointing to the rocks. People are drawing all over park property. We gotta catch these vandals. That would be very difficult, the Mountie said. These drawings were done by the Algonquin Indians over 500 years ago. Thanks anyway, though, for trying to help. Donald tried to keep himself from getting discouraged. He continued on his way, ready to act at the first sign of trouble. Then he took a deep breath. There was the faintest trace of smoke in the air. Donald looked off into the distance and saw smoke rising above the trees. We gotta finish reading this page first. Fires are illegal here in dry weather, he said, racing to report the fire. That's one thing I'm sure of. Uh-oh. The Mountie pulled Donald up into his horse. I bet that's a group of missing campers, said the Mountie. Show me where you saw the smoke. It wasn't long before they found the group of campers around a fire. Boy, are we glad to see you, said one of them. We've been lost for days. You have? Donald to thank, said the Mountie. Donald smiled proudly. Next page. A few days later, get out your nose. A few days later, the Mounties held a ceremony for Donald in the International Peace Garden. You eating your boogers, that's nasty. Stop eating your boogers. You gotta wash your hands when we're done. The sergeant stepped up to the podium. For your heroic rescue of the campers, he said, and for all of the hard work you've done, we hereby make you an honorary member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The sergeant presented Donald with a maple leaf pen. This is the proudest day of my life, said Donald. I never thought you'd get to be a Mountie, admitted George. But you really did it. You had a dream and you didn't give up.
No.
You see that? You hear that, Luigi?
Yes.
If you got a dream, never give up on it, okay? You hear me?
Yes.
If you got a dream, never give up on it, okay?
Okay.
Give me some dap if you understand. Mounties never give up. And Rogers never give up either. You feel me?
Yeah.
Good. Mounties never give up, beamed Donald. Everyone knows that. Next page. So that is the end of the story.
Yes.
But we got to read the did you know part, okay?
Okay.
So there are many different customs and places that make each country special. Do you remember some of the things below from the story?
That.
Alright, so Toronto is Canada's largest city. Yeah, we got to read the did you know part, and then we're gonna be done, okay? So it has, yep, it has some of the country's most interesting buildings. City Hall is made up of two curved buildings with a building between them that is shaped like a flying saucer. Some Inuit live in cold northern parts of Canada. These people have lived, hunted, and fished in some frozen lands as Alaska, Canada, Greenland, and Siberia. for thousands of years. Although most Inuits live in regular houses today, some still live in snow houses called igloos. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, better known as the Mounties, was formed in 1873. The Mounties' original job was to enforce law in Canada. Wild Mounties, who once rode on horseback, today travel by car, motorcycle, airplanes, and even snowmobile to enforce law in all parts of Canada. The International Peace Garden, y'all leave your nose alone, lies on the Canadian-United States border. I wonder, can we go there if we ain't, can't technically get in Canada since it's on the border. I wonder what side of the border it's on. It is a symbol of friendship between the two countries. Besides beautiful flowers, the Peace Garden contains nature trails, campgrounds, a chapel, and a summer music camp. Next page. The saying, busy as a beaver, is a true one. Beavers use their strong teeth to cut down trees around ponds. You gotta finish reading. They eat the bark of the trees, and some beavers use the wood to build two-level homes and ponds. Canadians admire the hard-working beaver and consider it one of their national symbols. Canada's timber wolf hunts in pack. Each pack guards its own large hunting territory very carefully. Huh? Not yet. So forestry is important in Canada. Trees are cut down by loggers, hauled to rivers, and then floated or carried in barges to mills. Here, the logs are turned into lumber, pulp, paper, and other products. Ontario's Algonquin Park is one of Canada's most popular wilderness areas. It is named after the Algonquin Indians, one of the Native American tribes that lived in Canada between European settlers. It is named after the Algonquin Indians, one of the Native American tribes that lived in Canada before European settlers came. Canadians from all over come to the park to hike, camp, and fish. And that is the end. You forgot to do book drop.
Huh?
You forgot to do the book drop. Book drop.
Good night, buddy.
Good night.
Good night.
See you next time.
Good night time.
Oh, gotta press the top button to cut it off. Press the top one. The top button. This button.